Hi, this is Helena Hart, and I'm talking with my friend and fellow coach, Nicole Elisa, today. She is a transformational love coach who helps women feel confident in their skin and connect with their authentic self so they can be seen and loved for who they are in their relationship. So, welcome, Nicole. Thank you so much for talking with me again today.
Hi, Helena, and hi, everybody. I'm super excited to do this video with you today. I am pumped. You have no idea.
Yes, it's been a while. We're so excited. This is very last minute. We decided to do this about 15 minutes ago, and I am thrilled for this topic. Today, we're going to be talking about a simple shift that you can make that will help you start to attract the results you want in your love life. If you really want to be seen for who you are and loved for who you are, no matter where you're at in your love life, right? Whether you're single or in a relationship, this is going to help turn everything around for you. So, Nicole, what's the first thing you have to say on this topic?
Well, I love this topic because it's like my own personal story as well. Lately, I've been really connecting with a lot of women who tell me that they feel like they can't be themselves, especially because of where they work, the lifestyle that they carry, or even like the type of business that they have. They tell me, Nicole, I'm in a male-dominated industry. I can't be myself. I have to be super masculine. I have to do everything, and they sort of feel like the masculine is coming at their necks, like they have to protect themselves, basically. Like, that's some of the statements that I've actually heard. And I've seen that what happens for these women is that they're in a constant state of like, I can't be myself. I can't be myself. Like, when I finish work, I'm exhausted. And then I have to think about dating, and I really want to meet a man that wants to care for me, that wants to protect me. And I just don't know how I'm going to do that because the constant shift of energy is affecting them. And what they really want is to be seen for who they really are and attract the type of man that is going to be there for them and is going to protect them. So that's what I wanted to talk about today with you, because I know that you and I like really resonate with these topics. And it's important to stop engaging in the conversation that you can't be yourself. Why do I say this? Is because at the end of the day, or most importantly, we are the ones that we create our reality. And when we are in that space of power, we can start to see changes in our reality, okay? And it sort of feels like sometimes we can't change that because we feel like it's the environment, like it's where I'm at, I can't change that, or it's the industry that I'm in. So what I have personally seen is that once we agree to something that is not good for us and we feel like we are at odds with it, we have to fight it, as women, we don't feel like, safe in our bodies to just really relax and be in our feminine or be in our power. It's like a slight energy of like attack or stress coming at you all of the time, okay? So that affects you because you're not fully in your body, you're not relaxed, you're not allowing, and therefore it makes it difficult for you to attract the type of man that you want, a man that really sees you, a man that is masculine, because you in your state is like, I can't be me. Like, the man can't feel you necessarily because you are up here thinking about the strategies that you need to take, the things you need to do at work, and you're just not in your body. Therefore, the man doesn't feel you. Therefore, you're attracting men who run away, who are not the right fit. And you find yourself like, but how can I change this? So my first recommendation is to say, hey, you know what? Hey, I can change this. I'm not saying that there are not men out there or people out there in general, because it's not just about men. It's about people who are operating in lack or in scarcity or in jealousy. Yes, that is going on. And I can promise you that if you start saying like, hey, I can trust myself, no matter what, I get to be me, and you start to really shifting that energy, you will start to attract the right people that come, that are the right fit for you for where you want to go. And I have had to live this in my life. I don't know about you, Helena. Did you ever feel like you had to be a different way to get things done or to get results or to have love?
I think that was definitely a pattern for me. I think my tendency was to want to hide myself and who I really am. And I can still feel that pop in sometimes, although doing things this other way, it feels so much better and it's so much easier. It takes so much less energy and effort than trying to put these walls around yourself or operate with these like masks or facades, especially when it comes to relationships. It's just exhausting trying to be what you think a man wants. That's why I love your work. It's so aligned with what I teach, which is authenticity and uncovering your true authentic self. Because I believe the right man's going to see you and know you're the one, know he's interested, and he's going to pursue you. Once he sees who you truly are, it's the covering up of our real selves, I believe, that keeps us from attracting someone that could really be right for us. In my opinion, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too.
Yeah, I wholeheartly agree. The thing is, it's because I don't want women to feel like, oh, that's easy for them to say, right? I'm sharing this because I've seen this over and over with my clients where they tell me like, well, I can't be myself. I have to fight for what I want. Like, it's like you want love, but at the same time, you're holding to survival energy in general, right? Like, I have to fight for what I want. I have to do this or the other. And then it's like you're carrying these survival stories about yourself or fear-based stories that sometimes filter themselves in what you let yourself attract in your love life. And what I always see with my clients is that as soon as you let them go, and you start to like really let them go, sometimes it's not just like, I'm going to let it go and that's it, right? It's a willingness to drop the stories and to have something different in your life. And it never fails, Helena. It never fails. Like, because at the end of the day, we are creating our reality. We can't fight or what we are seeing. Maybe you are seeing like these situations at work or in your environment. You can see that and you can like not take it, right? Not make it your reality. Because the moment you make it your reality, it's just difficult for you to let go. I believe that there's this saying that says like the subconscious doesn't want to let go of what it believes that it has. So if you're saying like, hey, I have this, this is what's going on for me, and I can't be me, right? You can't, like, you don't attract the man that can actually see you. That's why maybe you're going out on dates and men are leaving, because you're not your authentic self. In your mind, you're fighting off so many different things, and that is very real. Like that is very real. What I am inviting you to say is to start engaging in a different conversation where you are the owner of what you're creating, and you're like, hey, I can have something different, and I'm choosing to have something different. I can be myself. So it's that conversation at the end of the day. I feel like it goes back to like here in Panama where I live. When I was growing up, there was this conversation, battle of the sexes, like shows about the battle of the sexes. Like you're never really at peace with the masculine, right? Like the masculine somewhere wants to take something away from you, etc. So you're not at peace. There's not full trust. There's not full intimacy. There's not the union that at the end of the day you want. So if that's not what you want, it's about really starting to focus your energy on what you do want, right? If you want the union, if you want that intimacy, if you want that full trust, you got to start focusing your energy on believing in the masculine of like, hey, even if I'm seeing men that are not showing up in an honorable way, etc. Look, there's men out there that are, honorable, that are of integrity, etc. And you stay focused on that energy, and then choosing to be in the energy. So actually, it looks like first starting to release those thoughts that you can't be yourself, because or that you want to attract the type of men that you want because all that you're seeing is not the men that you want. So when you're engaging in that, that's what you're repeating all the time that you have in your subconscious. Therefore, you keep attracting it. You keep seeing it. You have to start focusing on what you do want, right? For example, one of the examples that I gave to one of my clients is like, notice how whenever you're talking about the situation, you're kind of agitated, right? Or you're uptight, right? And therefore you are holding more of a masculine energy. So what I invite you to do is start saying, hey, I love being around men. It's a gift that I'm in a male sort of industry. Even saying male dominated industry makes you feel like you're at odds, right? So saying like, hey, I'm surrounded by men, isn't that amazing? Like, I trust myself so much that I can know when a man is operating out of integrity, and I know the man that is good, and I just love being around men. Let me start appreciating the masculine energy more and love being surrounded by it, right? And I can be myself. That's a positive shift that you can start to make, that when you are in that space, you can start to attract the different sort of men in your life, because you are more in an appreciation energy rather than I have to fight, I have to protect myself, etc.
Wow. Gosh, I have so much to say on all of that. I love, I'm all about everything you just said, right? I miss recording videos with you. It's been so long since we've done one. I'm just like clicking into all of this and dropping in, and I'm like, wow, it's so, so true. It's your perspective. It's if you believe something to be true, it's going to be a player or a factor in your experience. I had one of my best friends in the whole world, just love him to death. We talk, about some of these issues that are going on in kind of like the dating world, especially here in the US. And he tends to want to like talk about all these like negative trends and patterns and why, monogamy is not going to be a thing for very much longer. And like, in a worried sort of way. And I'm like, those things aren't going to affect me or anyone unless they're focused on them. Like, yes, there are men out there who are just no longer interested in relationships with women and are going their own way, right? There are a lot of players, there's cheaters, there are those people out there, but there's also just as many, if not more, in my opinion, amazing people, both men and women, who would, oh my gosh, be thrilled to just connect and be in a monogamous relationship where they get to wake up next to you every day. And so many, but who are you attracting? And how, this is the way I like to think of it. Like, what story are you telling yourself? And how is that story being reflected back to you in your life experience or in your relationship, right? So if you're telling yourself the story that there are no good men out there, all the good men are taken, of course you're going to attract either men who are not right for you or men where the ones you would be with are not available. They're with someone else, right? The life you live is created by the story you're telling. So everyone watching, what story are you telling yourself, right? And how is that being reflected back to you? And you always know what story you're telling, and because it shows up as your life. You don't have to go digging around for your thoughts and patterns and beliefs, because it's going to show up as your life. And so you can always shift it, right? You can always shift the story you're telling, and the universe will right away start to deliver you evidence of the new story you're telling yourself. That's what I believe. And Nicole, I love what you said about where are you focusing? And this is all just off the top of my head. So if I hope I'm making sense, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. How does a woman start to make this shift from just basically talking about what's going on right now or regurgitating what they're hearing everyone else say, to actually getting ahead of it so they can start attracting what they want and be loved for who they truly are?
Yeah, I think you saw my face. Everybody saw my face when you said that, because it's like, oh my God, it's so interesting, because I find that I'm quite radical about this. I find that nowadays we need to be really, we need to stand for what we believe in, and we actually need to stand for partnership and relationships and love and union. There's a lot of narratives going on that are maybe like against it or criticizing it.
Yeah.
And we can't be accepting what everybody has to say. We have to really look at the person that is talking. It's like, because sometimes people can be speaking through pain and they haven't really processed their own things. And we live in a time and day where people have access to social media, to videos. They're posting a lot of like maybe hurt, fear-based comments, etc., around love. So we want to really be careful, and not, I don't want to say careful, we want to be intentional about who we listen to. And first of all, creating that sort of environment for yourself, I would recommend, like following like your channel, like my channel, like being surrounded by people that you can tell that really do believe in love and that stand for love. Mm-hmm. Also. But first of all, yourself. Like in fact, what I do recommend first is that you take a stand for love, right? I used to have this phrase that I love to say, like, women who lead with love. Like, we need to take a stand for love, number one. So what does love mean? It's not just love for yourself, but it's also love in relationships. Really appreciating and cultivating the value of relationships and what is possible inside of them. So maybe there's an idea of love in your heart where that you want to see reflected in your life. Like, you haven't really had like the best experiences in love, okay? And but there's still that feeling within you. So even if you don't have it, not letting yourself become bitter or upset about it, that you let it go. You have a desire for love in your heart for a reason, right? Like the energy of union is in love is the most important thing for me in my life. It's like, you can ask, like people who are on their deathbed, like what they regret more is always connecting, being in relationship. If you were if you're the only woman on earth who had like a, 7-figure business, an 8-figure business, like all by yourself, like, would you be able to share with somebody? Would you be able to grow? Like it's a matter of really, really starting to study the energy of union, and also starting to vision, like to connect with the vision of what is possible in love, and really studying this. The second thing that I recommend here, and I feel it's really important, is to go inward, okay? The reason why I was sharing this is it's not just because of the idea, it's also what it's doing to your body, to your belief system. It could be adding stress. It doesn't matter how much amount of money you're making, the lifestyle that you're carrying. It's adding a lot of stress, and then you don't feel good with yourself. You might not even be feeling good enough. You are always feeling at odds. You always feel like you need to go higher to succeed. And it is about you really coming back home to your feminine essence, which is understanding you're worthy as you are. And then starting to really like heal, release, reprogram the belief systems that you have, because these belief systems act as intimacy barriers in relationship. And if you want a really great relationship, I invite you to study that, and I invite you to how to really learn how you can really heal, reprogram, release all these belief systems, so that you get to be the woman that when you do meet your man, etc., like you get to create a really positive experience and family, because you took a stand, right? I find that this is a time where we really need to be taking a powerful stand for love, because Helena, I hear it all the time. Like everywhere, I see so many different people with platforms, just like Facebook, right? Like somebody that is hurt is like, sharing hurt, and then other people are spreading it. So we really want to be careful, like just intentional and connected. Taking a stand for love would be my first inclination for everybody, because you can't let yourself be influenced like that. Mm-hmm. I remember my mom as a kid used to always tell me, like, you're going to have it hard working as a Black woman. Like, you're going to have it hard. And she was doing it to protect me. That was pain, right? So I started to attract at work, like so many different, like hard experiences, because I had that belief. But as soon as I released the chip, like people, like, I started to change my experience. I said, no more of this. And I started to attract experiences where I was really genuinely accepted and appreciated for who I was. And I know that this can be a topic that can really sometimes challenge people's beliefs, right? And so, yes, you might see and feel that moment where you're feeling maybe challenged or like in shock about what we are sharing. What I want you to really invite you to do is to focus on the possibility, on the opening of what is really available for you. If you take yourself on in regards to this, like more intimacy, feeling like you can be yourself at work or in your business, you can relax, you can have things your way, like it gets to be fun, and you get to really start to challenge the belief systems, like, let them go, that are only inviting fights between the masculine and the feminine, or only inviting you not feeling comfortable to be yourself. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing I tell my clients all the time is that statistics have nothing to do with you. It's like, do you want to be a statistic, or are you a powerful creator of your own reality? The truth is we're all powerful creators, but what are you creating? Are you creating more of the same because you're talking about things as they are and just regurgitating things that have already happened and then bringing that forward into your new experiences? Or I always say, tell the story of your life and your love life, especially the way you want it to be. I have countless clients who turn this around, women who think they can't have babies after a certain age, or they're not going to meet someone after a certain age. I have a client, one of my favorite clients right now, amazing woman, just started online dating after a breakup, and she was worried because she had heard somewhere that African American women have a hard time online, don't get asked out on a lot of dates. And I said, you get to create whatever reality. I love it. I just got an email from her. She went on her very first online date, and it was amazing. And the guy did everything right, and he drove an hour to see her. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm just literally the kind of man I wanted to show up. I just talked about it, and he showed up. But we don't tend to want to do that. For whatever reason, we're so sort of captivated by reality, so to speak, what's already been manifested, right? And so we talk about what we can see and hear rather than getting ahead of the situation and flowing all our energy towards what we want. And this has everything to do with your authentic self, because I believe there's a larger part of all of us. You could think of it as like your consciousness or your soul, right? This larger part of yourself that knows that love abounds, right? If you have a desire for something like to have a great relationship, that absolutely you're automatically worthy of that. And it's totally possible and a lot easier than we might think, right? And so connecting to that part of yourself that takes a stand for love and doesn't listen to people that are saying you can't have what you want is actually connecting to your true self, right? Your truest, most authentic self, the larger part of yourself that knows all those things to be true. So I absolutely love that, Nicole. And what results can women experience when they start to do that?
Well, first of all, freedom, right? You get to be yourself. You get to be back in your body. I mean, you're no longer like uptight or tense. You're no longer feeling alone. And not only that, because once you're back to your body and you're more so in a state of like pleasure and enjoyment and happiness, just to be around the masculine and being yourself, what happens is that you get to attract long-lasting attraction. Right? Because the more you develop just being yourself and owning the value and the worth and being that and knowing that who you are is lovable and worthy, and really focusing more of your energy and cultivating that more so than feeling like you can't be yourself or that you can't have things your way, you will start to attract by law of attraction, like you said, like your soul, etc., what you want to you. And more importantly, you will attract the masculine man that you desire, because a lot of women don't really see that when they are in that space of like the go energy, like I can't be myself, like super uptight, they're not being themselves, therefore they attract like some like the more painful, like the experiences that they don't want. So if you want to attract the masculine man that really sees you, wants to protect you, wants to provide for you, wants to appreciate, everything, you really get to start claiming and focusing more on your energy on really loving yourself and knowing that who you are is worthy and that you can be yourself in any given moment in time. And that really helps you attract your power. See, a lot of women own the energy of like, I am me, right? And I am awesome, right? But they're not necessarily owning the energy of I am loved for who I am. Mm-hmm. That's different. Like, I love me, but are you owning the energy of I am loved for who I am? I am accepted, I'm appreciated, I'm celebrated, right, etc. Like, you need to be able to own both, right? And that's up to you. It's the second one. It's not up to like circumstances or people or what you're seeing. It's really up to you doing the work to align yourself to being, hey, like, I am lovable as I am. And loved as I am. So it is about really releasing the subconscious beliefs, working on it, releasing. Sometimes we store, like, I don't just do like subconscious work with my clients. Sometimes I know that women can store like this pain, like in their heart, like I'm not going to be loved, I'm not going to be seen. So doing kind of like the work to release that, releasing all that energy, all those beliefs, really then the next minute, you're attracting men who like are like, oh my God, I'm so in love with you and your essence. And it's because you really released that and you did the work to do it. You can have both. You can
wow. Totally oh my gosh. I've never heard anyone say that in that way before. So thank you for that. That was incredible. So it's one thing, and I hear this a lot, like, I know my value. I'm worthy. And that's all so fantastic. I'm so happy for the women. I see those kinds of comments all the time, but sometimes there's this other thing going on under the surface, but it's like no men who are worthy of, they don't feel that any men who are worthy of her are showing up, but there's this other thing where, can you repeat that? Cause that was amazing. I love who I am and I can be loved for who I am. I am loved for who I am, right?
You got to know that you're lovable, that you love yourself, and that you are so loved for who you are. It's about owning the two of them.
I love it. Present tense too, right? I am loved for who I am. And look for evidence of that. Once you start to see evidence of this new story you're telling yourself, I'm loved for who I am. I love who I am and I'm loved for who I am. I'm lovable. Oh my gosh, Nicole, that was amazing. It's so good. Start to see evidence of it and take credit for that and go, I did that. I shifted the story I was telling myself and look what happened. This man opened the door for me. Just the tiniest little thing. When you start to see evidence of it, this momentum starts to gather because of law of attraction, right? And more and more and more of that will come. I guarantee 100% every time, no exceptions, once you start putting your focus there, you're going to start to see more and more of it. It's that classic example of when you go, when you're car shopping for a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere. And it's not that there's more cars like that on the road. They were always there. You didn't have that framework in your brain yet. So let's start developing some new frameworks. Start telling yourself this new story. I am loved for exactly who I am. And watch what evidence starts to roll in. That's amazing. And let us know what you guys think in the comment section. We would love to hear your experiences with this. Nicole, any last words of wisdom? I know we want to keep this video short for you guys, but we have so much to say. Obviously, we should probably do more videos on this topic. Yeah, anything else you'd like to say or any free gifts you'd like to share? I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, you just have to be willing, okay? Like you have to be willing to release the old story as well, because sometimes we can see the sign, right? But we're not willing to release the old story. And that's where I always do invite to do the subconscious, the emotional release work, like all of that, depending on the person, right? So it's not always that you have to do that, but it's like, it's a willingness to let go of the old point of view, which is necessary. I want to, first of all, I want to say thank you for doing this interview, not this conversation with me. I'm just really grateful that we get to really share this. So for everybody, please share in the comments below what you got from this. And what I want to give it as an audience, I have recorded a small and really powerful training on really coming back home, really addressing these old belief systems that you could have for yourself and how you can start to change them so that you can start to see how men can start to gravitate towards you, the type of men that you want. It's all about coming back home to your feminine essence and knowing that you can be yourself in today's world.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And I learned, I feel like I had a shift in myself, even just talking to you. I'm starting to see this in a whole new way, that there's this whole other piece of I am loved for who I am. It's not just about being I'm amazing, I'm high value. I'm loved for who I am. So everyone start saying that to yourself. Type it into the comment section. Type it into your phone and look at it every day. I know I'm going to start doing that. And let us know the results. That we would love to just hear how this goes for you. Let us know how it feels. And once you start feeling different, actual physical evidence will start to show up on the outside. So this was amazing. Nicole, I'll put the link to that free gift and anything else, your YouTube channel, social media, everything is down below in the description right underneath this video. So please go check that out. Nicole also, she always has amazing free gifts for you guys. Thank you so much, Nicole. Let's definitely do this again soon.